The law opposites attract, and like attracts like. This is one of those declarations that wears a mask of simplicity. It could be a slogan, a fortune cookie line, a physics metaphor, or a mystical axiom. Yet the more we turn it over in the hand, the more we realize it is a coin minted with two faces, and the two faces are looking in opposite directions. It begins with the first clause, opposites attract. This is the language of magnets, polarity, electrical charge, and the dance of the universe where tension seeks its complement. It is the old idea that fire longs for water, that the predator draws the prey, that night calls out for day. In human life, this principle gives us the story of the quiet one drawn to the loud one, the builder drawn to the dreamer, the logical to the emotional. Without this pull across difference, the world would be static, locked in sameness. And yet the second clause lands with an equal authority, like attracts like. This is the truth behind friendship, behind communities, behind the way birds flock in fish school. The physicist calls it resonance, the mystic calls it affinity, the psychologist calls it mirroring. It is the principle that says we are drawn toward our own reflection, not as narcissists, but as those seeking recognition. When two likes find each other, the attraction is not from tension, but from confirmation. You are of my kind. The fragment does something unusual. It refuses to declare one principle more true than the other. Instead, it enshrines both as coexistent laws. This is unsettling because our habit is to resolve contradiction. We want to say, it's either opposites attract or like attracts like, make up your mind. But here the statement resists narrowing. It says, no, both stand. Accept it. Now, 1. The geometry of the two laws. Think of life not as a straight road, but as a field in which every object has both mass and charge, qualities that define how it pulls or pushes others. The law of opposites is a law of charge. The law of likes is a law of mass. Charge determines direction of pull, plus to minus, north to south. Mass determines intensity. Larger masses draw smaller ones in, regardless of polarity. If we extend this into human terms, opposite is about difference in temperament, skill, role, or energy. Like is about shared essence, values, worldview, purpose. The paradox dissolves when you see them not as rivals, but as laws operating in different dimensions. You can be drawn towards someone because they are different in their style, but because they are similar in their substance. The strong, silent type may be attracted to the animated, verbal one, opposites in manner, but both may share a deep reverence for honesty, a likeness in principle. 2. Nature's demonstrations. The seed and the soil are opposites. One is potential, the other is environment, and yet they are alike in their mutual compatibility for life. The bee and the flower are opposites in form and function, yet alike in their service to the cycle of pollination. Even predators and prey, so utterly opposite in purpose, are alike in the game they are playing, the game of survival. Without each other, both vanish. What nature teaches is that opposite and like are relative positions, not absolute categories. Shift the scale, and what seemed opposite may reveal itself as deeply alike. 3. Human examples. We marry across differences to create balance. One partner provides structure, the other provides spontaneity. This keeps the organism of the relationship in dynamic motion. Yet the relationship often survives not because of those differences, but because of a deeper likeness, shared beliefs about loyalty, about the meaning of home, about how to navigate hardship. We form alliances with those who speak our language, literally and metaphorically. This is like attracting like. But the alliance gains energy when someone brings a skill or quality we lack, opposites filling gaps. In the workplace, a visionary is drawn to the implementer, and the implementer to the visionary. But if they are both reckless with integrity, the partnership collapses. If they are both grounded in it, it flourishes. 4. The trap of the half-law. If you live as though only one of these laws exists, life becomes lopsided. If you only trust opposites attract, you may find yourself compulsively chasing novelty, difference, and challenge. This can be exciting, but also destabilizing. You may never anchor yourself in shared ground. If you only trust like attracts like, you may circle endlessly among people who mirror your own thoughts, never challenged, never stretched. Comfort can turn into stagnation. The fragment warns us that wisdom is in holding both. 5. The inner dimension. The laws are not only about relationships between people or objects, they operate within the self. Inside each of us are opposing qualities, boldness and fear, tenderness and rage, discipline and impulse. Sometimes these inner opposites attract. Your fear draws out your courage, your discipline seeks your desire. Other times, like attracts like within you, your ambition fuels your ambition, your peace strengthens your peace. Self-mastery involves knowing when to let your inner opposites collide to generate growth, and when to let your inner likenesses consolidate to preserve stability. 6. Why the fragment is a law. The fragment does not call this an opinion or a belief, but the law. This suggests inevitability. Whether you approve or not, the laws are at work. They operate like gravity, independent of your consent. This is where the philosophical challenge deepens. If both laws are always at work, then life's patterns are not linear but braided. Attraction is rarely the result of a single principle. It is the interference pattern of both laws acting together. 7. The zero friction perspective. Within the zero friction machine company framework, this fragment is both a lens and a lever. As a lens, it clarifies that interaction, whether between people, ideas, or forces, cannot be reduced to one kind of pull. The company's work often involves deploying language or ideas that attract opposite forces to spark transformation, while simultaneously attracting like forces to ensure cohesion. As a lever, it allows the company to design products that create controlled collisions, pairing unlike energies to break stale equilibrium, then pairing like energies to stabilize the new configuration. This dual mechanism makes the product both disruptive and sustaining. The fragment itself is an operational tool. It reminds the operator to check both poles. What opposite am I drawing in? What likeness am I reinforcing? Neglect either, and the machinery of human change falters. 8. Living the law without rigidity. If you see opposites and likes as fixed traits, you will misread the field. What is opposite today may become like tomorrow as you change. What feels familiar now may feel alien later. The law is dynamic. It invites constant reassessment. You might discover that a long-standing ally is now an opposite you need, or that a long-standing adversary has become an ally through shared circumstance. 9. The hidden comfort. It can be reassuring to know that both laws are always active. If you find yourself alienated, surrounded by those who are unlike you, remember that somewhere in that mix is a likeness waiting to be found. If you find yourself bored, surrounded by sameness, remember that an opposite will eventually arrive to break the monotony. Life has built-in correctives. The laws are its way of keeping the system alive. 10. Final turn of the coin. The beauty of the fragment is in its brevity. It does not say which to prioritize or how to use them. It leaves that to the practitioner. In this way, it is less like a prescription and more like a compass with two needles, one pointing toward difference, the other toward sameness. Navigation is your responsibility. In summary, opposites attract by filling what is missing, and likes attract by confirming what is shared. One and both laws operate simultaneously, often invisibly, and mastery comes from balancing the two, in relationships, in work, and within the self. The fragment, as a zero-friction machine company product, functions as both a reminder and a strategic tool, ensuring operators never forget that attraction is a twofold force. The law does not ask for belief. It simply is, and like all true laws, it works, whether or not you agree with it.